Hi friends, it's Sarah from Ruffles and Rain Boots. I'm going to give you a free file to make this today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I tend to go fast and do not add fluff. So if you'd like, you can slow this down by going to the cog, go to playback speed, and anything above the word normal will slow it down. There are two places you can get this free laser template. First one I recommend is my shop. Second one I recommend is my Atom profile. Links are below. I'm going to be using the Tuca Nova today, and so I'm just going to give you a hint. If you're working with the camera, try and use something like these placement guides to get a 90-degree on it. It'll just make it a little bit easier. You can see now with the placement guides, this 1/4 inch Luan plywood is perfectly set. So I'm going to go ahead and create a material test. Now I know if you are new to lasers, this is something you'd want to skip. I get it, but this laser is new to me. It's a 20-watt diode. Again, it's the Tuca Nova. So I know what my general settings are on my other lasers, both diodes and CO2s. So I know that I can probably get a nice non-burned edge piece of plywood here using these settings. So I'm just going to be narrowing things down here, and that's all that is. Not going to cut it out. I just want a little cut here in 4 squares to give me an idea. All right, so I'm going to just set that up here, and then it's easy with the Tuca Nova. You'll get to see it in just a second, but the idea is you can frame it based on the camera and where the position is on the bed. You can autofocus and you can create. So this is the actual time cutting this, and I'm happy with that speed and how long it'll take. So when I pull this out, you can see all 4 fell out. We have some nice reddish edges on this, and I'm happy with that. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm not even going to move this piece of board. Okay, so we're going to delete the test and drag in our file. Again, you're going to have this in many options if you want to CNC it, if you want to use it with your cutting machine. I give you all of the files you need. So you can see I'm just going to play with the size here because, again, this little cutoff piece is what I'm testing. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a little smaller, duplicate it, and just swap the angle. Now my file is ready. For my parameters, again, a 20-watt diode, I'm going to run it at 100. I could probably run it at 95, but I'm going to up the speed to 550. And that's why we recommend doing the tests, right? So now that the file is set up, I'm going to frame it, and you can see the Tuca Nova in action. Light turns blue. This is at real speed. Next, we're going to autofocus, which is a descending laser with that pin that touches the material and auto enters the distance between the laser module and the material. All right, once that is done, we're just going to come over here and hit create. So you can obviously look at the path and all of that. It's not going to take 30 seconds. I think this took 1.5 minutes total, but I do like that you have a nice little clock both right here on the software and on that little screen on the Tuca Nova. So this is at speed. This is sped up. All right, once that's done, I'm going to pull it right out so you can see I had a little bit of soot on the back, a little bit of spray from the air assist, but no soot on the actual bunny. Love that for me because cleanup's easy. So I am just going to wipe it down. You can see, I'll show you in a second, but you can see there's a little bit of soot on the bunny. We can take that off like if you need to with alcohol right here, just a tiny little bit. However, I'm going to glue them together and paint them. So a little bit of wood glue. Wow. Wood glue. Yes. Followed up with a very messy little application of some CA glue, and then I'm just going to press them together. If this is your first press project with layers, you're always going to make sure you have it straight because it's supposed to sit flat. Then when you have it, wipe any glue that seeped out of the edges from your pressing, protect the item, and then clamp it within 1 inch of its life. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to clamp it too hard, but you do need that wood glue and super glue to set up. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and paint these, and I had somewhere to be, so I couldn't get paint all over my hands. So my preferred paint method is a very light coat on both sides. Now you can sand this or you can paint it. I'm going to paint mine. So anyway, I'm going to do a light coat, and then after that's set, I'm going to sand, then a second coat and sand, and then I do the edges. And then I'll do a third coat on the front and the back, just so that we have a nice, pretty little finished smooth project. Now I'm going to take some antique wax and add a little vintage styling there, along with some suede cord and a little paper flower, and that's going to be it. You can see this in all her little glory here in natural light. She is an off-white. She is not a bright white, but you can see her here. Here's the front. I didn't vintage the back in case I want to paint a little pink nose later. And that is it for this project. Isn't that fun? Isn't that easy? So again, I'm going to put where you can get this project. The free files are going to be down below for lasers, cutting machines, or CNCs. That's it for me. Go ahead and like this video if you would. Share it. Share it in a Facebook group. That always helps. And you know what? I really sincerely appreciate you being here with me today. Please like and subscribe.